transferred it in a plotter, still not working. So what I'm going to have to do is simply draw the thing myself. I'm going to use Corel Draw, just draw basic shapes over it, and then I've got it, and then I can use it. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way the plotter is, I guess. So just straightforward rectangles wherever I need them. I'll make them a different colour so I know what's going on. No outline. Okay. And once I've drawn these, I can then simply no outline and yellow. I can then just combine them. Simple one-click procedure. So, and so I've got that one selected. I'll duplicate it so I can put it down here. It's a bit wider. And I've got to work to the darkest black, because that actually is the edge of whatever it is. So duplicate that, put it there. So it's not a really long process, it's just laborious. Duplicate that, that can go there. The thing with Chinese characters, whatever language this is, there's all these little curves at the end, so I have to do that as well. So I could just keep duplicating using the same piece, because it's not really that hard to do. It's very simple. So this one's got this little tail down here, because you can actually see it on the actual on the smaller font. You see it goes out like that, and that comes in like that. So I have to adjust both of those. So this one I have to convert to curves, so I can then do something like that. Right, okay, so this fella, I'm going to start him over here, go all the way along and curve it up. It was really good of Rance to send me this stuff. It makes it so much easier in some respects. I mean, because just trying to work out Chinese characters is not an easy thing. So there. And there. So I just got to put some curves in this. No, wrong one. Alright. That looks like a much thinner line down below. Looks like it's also all joined up. It is. Okay, so that one there comes right down into it, and I'm going to have to just a little bit of curve converting there too to get that out of the way. Now I hope now that I've done all that, if I just select all the pieces and just tell them to weld together. Oh, missed a bit. And weld together. There we go. Okay, so we've got our first letter. So this is not going to be as hard as I thought. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So I will finish this and get back to you. Now, with great skill and daring, I've managed to pull off all the stencils without filming a single one, but luckily I had this last one to do, and I've remembered. Just check that the video is actually videoing. Yes, there we go. So there we go. Now, if you speak whatever or read whatever Chinese language this is, I have no idea whether it's Cantonese or Mandarin or any dialect in particular. This apparently says ultra precise targeting. Now I've scratched the top of that letter there, but that doesn't matter because it'll all go into wear and tear. Last thing I'm going to do is put an orange line down here. Could put some sort of targeting logo, something, but I'm not really worried. It's been a long thing. It's been a long run getting this done. So there we go. Ultra precise targeting. It's actually 4 words. I can't remember what the other one is. But anyway, so moving on. Back again. Now I was chatting the other day with Yann from France. He's the one who's inspired this paint scheme with one of his pieces he put into Show Me the Modern Thing, and he said all his work is transfers, and he prints his own, and he does some great stuff. I'll put a link to a page where you can go and download it, but then you have to get it printed. I've just been going through my transfer box, and I've got an awful lot of stuff, a lot of Warhammer stuff, and spattered with paint and dirt and stuff, so I don't know how good it'll be. Got a lot of US aircraft, and these tiny little things could be useful. Just fill in a few little spaces. But I do have to be careful because there is a lot of yellowing on a lot of the transfers, and there's going to be I've had transfers you dip in water and they dissolve, you know. So this stuff is really old. I've had this for some of these for 40 or 50 years. Yeah, you wouldn't really have no step on a gun like this, but you might have the little yellow arrows. So we'll just see what else we can salvage. That's from the Star Cruiser. I had one of them somewhere. Probably still in my spares box. Here's some. Now this is interesting. There's some interesting stuff in there that might be useful. Some of these little green shapes. Don't know. I'll have to look into that. But I think what I need to do is maybe put on a couple, maybe one from each of the sheets I've picked out, and see how well it lasts. Because as I've said, it could just simply dissolve in the water, or it could last forever. I think they're Japanese characters, those ones. And of course it'll have to be sprayed over and sealed with a flat clear, because I've still got to do my wash on it. And that's another thing I'm worried about, the wash, whether it will pick up the edges of the transfers, and you'll see the actual transport film all around it. So that's a problem. There's some more good ones. Hi guys, it's a lovely day. Now I've just been spending more time than I care to admit printing out the stencils. You can barely see them there. I've got to pull them out. I was having all this trouble with them until I worked out I had a blunt blade on my cutter. So as you can see, I've started putting some on, like there's going to be some black lines there. I've got to be quick with this because this masking material tends to lift if you leave it too long. So I've got all my different masks. I've got 3 different background colours, so I've got 3 different colours masks to do. So I've just got to mask everything, then put them in their groups. And the hardest one I reckon is going to be this. This is the little bit that goes around the cocking handle, and I've got mode execute ready there and red stripes all down. So I'm going to have to cut that one out first and do that, and it's just there. So the way I'm doing it is I have to, I don't know if you can see it there, there's the lettering there, pull out the lettering and take off the external stencil and use that, then I have to stick all the interiors of the letters back in place. Yeah, if it sounds annoying, it really is. So this is going to take hours, so I'll get back to you in a second. Alright guys, of course I've got ahead of myself again because I get all excited, but left one little bit to do, so here we go. This is the Sign-Tech logo, S-I-N-E, I think. Anyway. Oh, isn't that nice? Yeah, I had a problem with the plotter where the first time I cut it, it had actually gone through the S, so I had to salvage an S off another one. So I've got a little touching there to do, but looking good. So, got Sign-Tech on that side, and we've got Ying Hip on that side in, I don't know, Mandarin, Cantonese. I'm not really big on Chinese language identification, but anyway, so there we go. Moving on. Oh, I've got one more here. Forgot about this. This is just a little bit of surface interest, decoration, whatever you want to call it. That came out really nice. Look at that. And some more of the outside too. Little touch-ups here and there, everybody, to be expected. Okie dokie. Right, g'day guys. That's it. I don't know, it's the next day or the day after, I can't remember. Now, painted all this up, put a lot of the stenciling on. Came out really nice, as you can see. Some of it's pretty good, some of it's not so good. But anyway, so what I have to do now is put it all back together and work out where paint is missed. Like I just found that. That was really clever. The entire thing's not painted. So I'll put this back together with the magic of television, and we'll see what we've got and how much extra work I've made myself. So this is the sort of thing I have to deal with later. We can see where the what do you call it? The stencil lifted a bit, and you got a little bit overspray. But that's just a case of very fine, a fine brush and a steady hand. I've got the fine brush, and the hand's great. I'm still waiting on the electronics kit Rance has generously offered to send me, which is great. Oh, here's the cool bit. This is one of the last stencils I've got to do. Where is a kniff? I need a kniff. Right, so I actually took some film the other day of taking off the masking off something, and when I went to the camera it turned out to be a still photo, which really annoyed me, so I'll film this one. Oh, that's good. I thought I'd have to paint in the little thing in the centre of the A. There we go. So there's that stencil, and there's one part of the magazine release there, and there's the other part there. It goes like that, so it either pops that way or pops that way. So you've got your little occupational health and safety warning there. Right guys, due to the magic of video editing, there we go. All assembled. Got to get it further enough away so you can see it. And I can see where all my mistakes, like there. I've got some symbol lettering that actually spells my name that's just hidden by this. Can't take that into account. Never mind. And there's the other side. Don't worry, I'll take some beauty shots. I'll put it at the end of the video. But now I can see all the places that, you know, need touching up and stuff. Like putting this pin in, I'll scratch that, and a bit of touch up here, but that'll be the wear and tear I'm planning to do on it. But I'm going to do that test piece that I told you about earlier first to see how it works. Yeah, so basically pretty much done except for the weathering and stuff. Right, hi guys. Now, in the middle of painting the actual weapon, what I've got, I've dug this out from my box of pistols. I'm going to pull this apart, clean up all the logos, and paint it the same colour scheme. In addition, So the reason I'm going to do that is to test paint this new weathering style I'm going to try. And it's not new as in revolution, it's just new to me. And it's just the basic one of getting torn sponge and going along the edges. Now I believe Yann, the guy I'm looking at, he does like a metallic and then minor spotches of rust colour, and then little highlights with silver where it's, you know, the shine is. The other way is chocolate brown, like worn metal you see in, you know, the only thing I can think of actually is like one of those old steam engines they put in a children's park, that sort of thing. But we'll see how it goes. I'll paint different areas with different effects and see which one I like. It's going to be the same orange, white and grey colour scheme. It's perfectly safe to use a power driver when you're undoing these things. Just when you're doing them up, you've got to do them by hand. It looks like all the screws are the same size. I know there's a longer one. I wonder where that came from. Probably up there. Anyway, I'll work it out. Funny is, I think I've only got one of these. I've got dozens of fireflies. What are they called? Fire strikes. Oh, that's right. There's a magnet there. Okay, let's pull this apart. There we go. And I'll just make sure somebody's been having some fun. So somebody's obviously put too many darts in the wrong way. That'll be useful. Oh, look at that. There's another one. Okay, so it goes like that. So, I mean, if this paint scheme turns out alright, I might even, you know, I'll have a good looking blaster. So I might take some time to maybe do some mods in this. Maybe put a torch in here, some sort of lighting system. There's tons of room. But let's have a look. Spring, screw, catch. Yep. Obviously there's an air restrictor in there that's got to go. Yep. Okay. Screw. Alright, easy. Right, hi guys. I'm just about to paint this little test piece to do the weathering. So I've got my gloves on and I've got my respirator and I've got a little bottle of isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to spray the parts. I've just sanded all the logos off. I'm going to spray the parts, wipe them down with this cloth so it's a nice clean surface for the paint. Always wear a mask. See? Like me. Right guys, now here's a little test piece. So I've sprayed the white, masked where I want to keep white, and now I've sprayed the orange, and I'm going to mask that. Then I'm going to do the metallic black here, all on this, and a dark grey for the rubberized handles. So I'll leave the camera running just for a minute. Now, when you do this stuff, so when you're masking, put a bit of tape on, then get yourself a pointer and push the tape where you need it to go before you start cutting. Now this is an old clay working tool which I use for practically everything, but you can use an old chopstick from a short store or an old paintbrush. So once you've got it where you want, and here's a little trick, when you've got, you know, these seam lines, I put in a lot of them, just rub your fingernail along there and you get a nice little crevice. You can just run a knife straight down. doing anything wonderful here. I am just following the course of the line. Right. So up here we've got it going up the top, so it's just a matter of taping up around there, and that's just the easiest way I've found to do it. Is I've got a bit of glass here on the bench, just use that as a cutting mat, and you just cut little sections, centimetre, half a centimetre, whatever, and just put them down, jamming them as close in to the edge you want to get, making sure the end that just isn't really being used doesn't flop over somewhere that you want paint to go, and just push it in like so, and then always cut from the center of the tape to the edge, that way you won't lift it like I just almost did. Yeah, still. And again with the tweezers. There we go. Alright guys, I've masked it all up. Now around this curve I just use short lengths, and as you can see I've trimmed it off that side, just got to trim off this side and we're done. So the basic progression with this is I sanded it, undercoat with the grey, then sprayed the white, then masked those areas that I wanted to keep white, and then sprayed the orange, and then masked those areas I wanted to keep orange, and this will this way allows me to now spray the metallic black on these sort of metallic looking parts, operating system of the gun, and then I've just got the pistol grip, which I'll probably just paint a dark grey. Just pushing a bit of tape out of the way. So that's it. So metallic black on that, and probably on that, and then I'll mask that, and I can do, like, I might even just hand paint that a dark grey, but straightforward. Okay, back soon. While we wait for the blaster to dry, I'm going to peel off all the masking on this thing. Now, let's see the easiest way to do this. Probably. Alright guys, greetings from sunny Australia, as you can hear. Now, when I was working on this yesterday and putting the wear and tear on, my phone filled up, so I'm not sure where the video stopped. So I finished it. I've posted a couple of photos you might have seen. Now, one thing I was worried about yesterday was the silver was too bright, and the sort of mix-up silver with black I made didn't work very well. So I went and got myself some Humbrol Metallic 53, which is gunmetal, and it's not as dark as it shows up on the lid there. It's actually that colour there, so it's pretty good, I think. And I've just did a little bit of sponging on a couple areas people pointed out, and it seems to be working. One of the problems yesterday too was having tweezers to try and hold the sponge, so I've actually got these surgical scissors a friend gave me, and I don't have to worry about keeping them pressed shut. So it goes on well there. I'll try somewhere where it'll show up. Yeah. Depending on how much paint you got on it, is how it looks. The trick to it is that it can't be blotchy like it is there. I think it needs, the centre needs to be actually filled in. So it's a bit more subtle, so it looks like a bit more of a warm bit of metal, and then I've got the silver. This goes on the highlight area, and even the sponge will help move the silver around a bit. Probably can't see that very well, doesn't matter, because I'm about to start on the actual Sirius now, and that's something I've been putting off because I'm scared about doing it basically. Oh, one thing I also got the other day was this silver paint pen. Trouble is it comes with a very fine tip, and I noticed as I was putting this on, sometimes when I put it on, I'll put on a line or something, and then I want to smear it a bit, so I just use my finger and just wipe the whole thing off. So that wasn't good. I'm not sure whether these are acrylic or enamel. They're Mitsubishi Pencil Company Posca, and this one was actually made in France. So if anybody can tell me what sort of paint's inside of that, that'd be much appreciated. I've looked on their website, I can't find any information. I've got this uni paint one, I don't know where I got that from. Oh yes I do, this is the Aldi one that works really well, surprisingly. There we go. So that one I'll be using, put those aside. This Stedler one, the tip fell in, so all I can do is silver dots, and that doesn't work very well at all. So put that aside. So as you can see, the way I've got the camera positioned, it's just concentrating on this area here, and that's where I'm going to experiment. So let's go. So I've got my gunmetal. I'm doing it on the grey first because it will show up less. And of course I'm just doing it where the blaster will make contact with things. Okay, let's try a little bit on here. And definitely a lot down there. This area is going to be quite heavily worn. The amount of paint I'm putting on is not going to cause things to stick together. When you pull that back, your finger will probably brush against there. So now I've got lots of different sort of shapes in this sponge. I've got smooth shapes and I've got rough sides, so I'm just using what I think is necessary at the time, but I need some more paint. And just make sure I've got enough paint. See how it stands out on the right. Okay, I think just by happy accident I've just cracked it. Heavy blob of paint there, but it actually looks quite good with the worn paint around it. So got to put some heavy blobs on and then blend them in. Okay, just restarted the video and recentered everything so you can see a bit better, and just move the paints out of the way and start working down on this thing. Any there is going to catch the surface, corners. Magazine housing is going to be quite heavily worn. It definitely does look better with a more solid spot of paint. Any raised areas like the surrounds of these screws tend to pick up wear. Oh dear, a bit too far that way. See if I can wipe that bit off. That's not too bad. Good. Just got to keep an eye on this sponge. It keeps wearing, disintegrating on me. Alright guys, so as you can see I've gone over some areas and sometimes it comes out really good, really looks great. Other areas a bit difficult, might be due to the surface it's being put on, but I think I'm going to have to wait till it dries and go over and retouch the centres of some of these things to get the effect I want, because it's sort of a bit of a balance between paint. I mean, this stuff looks really great on the silver, it certainly looks like chipped off paint. But on the white, not that great. So I'm going to have to redo some areas. And then once that's dry, then I can go over with the silver. So it's going to be a bit of a longer process than I thought. The buttstock looks really good, especially this area here. So I'm really happy with that. And a lot of wear on the places where the catches will be, and a lot of use. But here's a good example. You can sort of see through that silver. So I've got some paint on here and that's dry, and I'm going to go over it again. And that looks a bit better to me. Each to his own, I say. So, yes. So I'm going to stop for now. I've used up all the paint I've got out. Then I'm going to come back when it's dried, touch up some areas, go over it with the silver. Because once the silver's on, I'll give you good example, a little example, like this grey area, you can barely see the metal on the grey, but and the trick is not to be too steady, because you're trying to make it look like normal wear and tear. Now I'm using the back of the sponge that hasn't got any grey paint on it, so I'll put some silver on here, a few spots here, and then I'll get the sponge itself and just use it to just soften the edges of it. But you have to be so quick because this silver just dries so quickly. Yeah, put a bit more on that, and then try a bit down here. There. And where there's a lot of heavy wear, there'll be a lot of just bare silver. If I don't run out on me now, that will be really annoying. There we go. So as you can see, it's just a matter of trial and error, but it's getting there. There'll be a lot on this. This will be very worn. Just around the front there. There we go. So anywhere that's going to get a lot of wear will be a lot of silver. But this the grey is being picked up by the silver, so I'm going to let all this grey dry and then get back to it. So I'll see you in a little while. Hi guys, time for the heart-stopping part for some people is when I do the black wash. Now I've done this so many times, I'm not really concerned about it. I did try on the pistol to spray it on and wipe it off quick. It wasn't as dark as I hoped, so I'm going to do the brush on system. So I've got my slapping on brush, which is pretty tatty. I've got my 50-50 black wash. I've just mixed up a new one that's 50% Tamiya matte black and 50% of their X28 thinner, and I've just managed to find myself a new wiping rag. And this is the most important bit. Don't use paper towels, because some of them are embossed and got patterns, and sometimes if you press the wrong way you can leave the pattern on the blaster. You know, I've been there, done that. This is flannelette, that winter sheeting material. It's pretty old, but I got a nice clean piece. My previous piece has been used a lot. It's a bit stiff too for some reason. So here we go. Let me start it down here at the back. Get some black on, slap it on, put it all over. Be sure to get it in the crevices, because that's the whole point of this thing. And then you get your cloth and wipe it off. And see, you've got an instant, dirty, used weapon. You can get a little bit of the edge and get it in there to get some of that stuff out if you want. It's not that hard to get out large cracks like that. Just use a screwdriver and run it down. There you go. Right there. We'll continue just with the buttstock. I'm also going over the rubber base because it gets dirty as well, obviously. Even doing the cheek rests, because ditto. But we're done. Yay.